Welcome to World Conflict Channel. Unknown fires continue in Russia in parallel with the war with Ukraine. Today, an oil refinery burned down in the city of Kstovo in the Nizhny Novgorod region. There is no information about what caused the unexpected fire in the city located 200 kilometers east of Moscow. According to the latest information, the fire is still not fully extinguished and additional firefighters have been sent to the area. The Nizhny Novgorod Oblast Prosecutor's Office has opened an investigation into the causes of the fire at the industrial facility. It is reported that more detailed information about the fire will be shared. At the same time, fierce fighting continues in Ukraine. The most critical situation is in the Bakhmut region, as it was yesterday. Today, the Ukrainian defenders managed to repel the attacks of the Russian fascist invaders in the Vesel, Zalizniansk, Krasnohora, Paraskoviyivka, Bakhmut, and Ivanovsk areas. According to reports, currently the most violent clashes are around Krasnaya Gora and Paraskoviyevka. Despite the Russian attack from two directions, the Ukrainian armed forces hold their positions in the villages. According to Ukrainian telegram channels, the Wagner forces have control of the highway in Konstantinovka between the Ivanovskoye settlement and Stupiki west of Bakhmut and control 4 out of 5 roads along which Ukrainian fighters can refuel. This complicates the situation for the Ukrainian armed forces in the city. According to another information, today was one of the most difficult days of the war for the Russian forces. According to Ukrainian sources, 1,030 Russian soldiers were killed by the Ukrainian armed forces in one day. This is a record number since the beginning of the war. Despite such losses, Russia still continues its human wave attacks. Russian commanders are being forced to use undermanned, inexperienced units as they try to gain territory in the Ukraine war, according to UK intelligence. Senior Kremlin officials are piling pressure on their military to make sweeping advances as the first anniversary of the start of the conflict approaches. But Russia is only managing to gain several hundred meters of territory per week because they lack the necessary munitions and their troops are not up to the task, the UK's Ministry of Defence says. In their latest intelligence update on the war, the Ministry of Defense said Russia has been trying to restart major offensive operations in Ukraine since early January. Its operational goal is almost certainly to capture the remaining Ukrainian-held parts of Donetsk Oblast, the Ministry of Defense said. Russian forces have only managed to gain several hundred meters of territory per week. This is almost certainly because Russia now lacks the munitions and maneuver units required for successful offensives. Senior commanders likely make plans requiring undermanned, inexperienced units to achieve unrealistic objectives due to political and professional pressure. Russian leaders will likely continue to demand sweeping advances. It remains unlikely that Russia can build up the forces needed to substantially affect the outcome of the war within the coming weeks. Last week, the Ministry of Defense said there are significant tensions emerging between a prominent paramilitary group and the official Russian Ministry of Defense. One of the few successes Moscow has seen recently was in Soledar, the Ukrainian town where paramilitaries in the Kremlin-linked Wagner group managed to force Ukraine's troops back, which Russia took as a victory. Also, today Ukrainian sources released a video of the 30th Mechanized Brigade repelling Russian attacks west of Blahodar, Donetsk Oblast. Thanks for watching. You can support us by subscribing to our channel.